Okay, so what we're going to do, chat, is we're going to go through and have a look at the Juddmonte International, the 335 at York on Wednesday, which is a feature race on the card. Just go through and preview the major scene contenders that we've got and get your feedback on the major contenders. You ready to dig into it?
Absolutely, mate. Let's dive into the Juddmonte International. It's always a cracker of a race, and this year's lineup looks intriguing. Let's go through the major contenders and break them down one by one. Who do you want to start with?
I think we'll start off by looking at the favourite, City of Troy. Very well bred by Justify out of the top-class Galileo mare Together Forever. Comes into this on the back of winning at Sandown, where it knocked off Al Riffa. Franks the Epsom Derby win over Ambient Friendly. Just got a slight concern that back on top of the ground on good to firm going, that City of Troy is unders at the 2.25 on offer. We've got it fourth top rated at 8.50. In this deep field with the likes of Callandargan, Blue Stocking, Zaracum, Malzoom, Docklands and Jureza. There's a lot of depth in this race around other runners. Your thoughts?
City of Troy definitely brings a lot of promise to this race, especially with that pedigree and the strong form coming off the Sandown win. The concern about the ground is valid, though. We've seen before that horses with such a strong turn of foot might not be as effective on quicker ground, especially when there's a deep field to contend with. At the current odds, it does seem a bit tight given the competition. Callandargan, for example, has been improving steadily, and Blue Stockings has shown it can handle a variety of conditions. Aracom is another interesting one, potentially flying under the radar, but capable of running a big race. Malzum and Docklands also bring that added depth, and in a race like this, where anything can happen, there's certainly value to be found elsewhere in the field. I'd say City of Troy is definitely a contender, but with the conditions and the depth in the field, it might be worth looking at some of those other runners you've mentioned, especially at the odds they're offering. What's your take on the value in this race? And do you see any particular horse standing out as a good bet?
Yeah, so at the top of the ratings, we've got Blue Stocking rated on top at 5.50, followed by Callandargan, second top rated at 6.0. And Jureza, the Japanese import, third top rated at 7.0. So all three of those are rated above City of Troy at 8.50. And we need to remember, Blue Stocking is available currently at 11.0 overs, Callandargan at 8.0 overs, and Jureza at the massive odds of 34.0. So it can probably be backed each way. Your thoughts?
It looks like you found some solid value in the field. Blue Stocking at 11.0 is definitely attractive, especially considering it's at the top of your ratings. That kind of discrepancy between your top rating and the market odds suggests there's real value there. Calendar Gen at 8.0 also stands out, given its consistent performances, and being rated second in your figures makes it a strong contender. Jureza at 34.0 is particularly intriguing. Anytime you see a horse with that kind of potential, especially an import with less exposure in the local market, there's often value to be had, especially with an each-way bet. If it hits the frame, you could be looking at a nice return. Given the depth of the field and the concerns around City of Troy on this ground, spreading your bets across these top-rated horses seems like a smart move. Do you think the market might adjust closer to race time? Or are these odds something you'd want to lock in now?
Look, we're talking about those odds in a market set to 110%. So there's still a little bit movement, especially when you consider that on Betfair, that market's going to tighten into 101, 102%. City of Troy at 2.20 may shorten up a little bit more purely through public weight of money being so highly regarded. But yeah, the value in the race is definitely around Blue Stocking at 11.0. Blue Stocking at 11.0, and then Callandargan at 8.0, and also a little nibble at Jureza at the big double figure odds of 34.0. I think we'll close it out there. Your final thoughts?
It sounds like you've got a solid handle on how the market might shift, especially with the Betfair market likely tightening up closer to race time. City of Troy might indeed shorten a bit more with public money coming in, but as you've identified, the real value lies elsewhere. Blue stocking at 11.0 looks like a great play, especially given your top rating. Calendargan at 8 mil is also strong, and a small each way on Ureza at 34.0 could give you a nice return if it runs to potential. Final thoughts. I'd lock in those value bets early, especially on blue stocking and Calendargan. And keep an eye on Ureza as race time approaches. The market might still shift a bit, but you're well positioned with those selections. Best of luck with it, mate. I think you're onto something solid here.
Thanks. Okay, that covers our